Mr. Revealing here. Today's reveal is a must-watch for any Gen 3 Toyota Prius owner. That's model years 2010 to 2015 and may include the 2016 and 2017 Toyota Prius V. This is a growing problem that you'll see with oil consumption, the oil burning. It is a progressive problem in these Prius, and you must watch this video, see how to check it, and to watch for this progression, because ultimately, this does not end well. And we'll reveal that in future videos. Mr. Revealing! He reveals stuff. He's so revealing. Seem to be running low again. Look on there. It's just above, if you can see that, give a little contrast. It's just above the empty line, or the lowest it should be. This is what I use to top it off when it runs low. Kirkland, this is Costco brand. It's the full synthetic, and it's 10 quarts. So there's two 5-quart containers right here. And for this whole thing, it's a really good price. I'm going to put the price on the screen because I don't know it right offhand, but it's by far way cheaper than buying 5 quarts of synthetic. Obviously, Kirkland doesn't make their own, so this is one of the big players that makes it for them. Don't know which one. But again, I'm not doing the full oil change on this, just doing a top off when it runs low. Here they are at Costco. And for two 5-quart containers, $27.99. Amazing deal, actually. Now, I guess you could refill your whole engine with that. I just top it off with this. In the oil changes, I get the Toyota oil. In comparison, just 6 quarts of the Mobile one. Yes, great brand and everything, but it's quite a bit more for half the amount. No brainer. This is how I do the top off. I have an empty 1-quart container, and I put the funnel on top, and then I just pour into this one. So I know how much I'm using, and it's an easy way for me to measure it out. I just pour in a quart into this. Then I just top it off, just remove the oil filler. Even says on there which kind to get, 0W20. And I'll take my 1 quart I just filled up. Then I got to get it in the hole. I don't use a funnel, probably should. So let's see how good I get it. Oh, mostly good. So I'm going to put 1 quart in this. You saw where it was. It seems to be burning a quart every 2,000 miles. So I just topped it off 2,000 miles ago, and it was full. So you saw where the line was. So 2,000 miles seems to be the number that it's burning a quart of oil at this point. I mean, no obvious signs, but these are known as they get older to burn oil. This one is a 13, not as bad as the 10s. The 10s apparently are a lot worse or happen a lot sooner. So this has like 225,000 miles, and probably after 200 is when I started adding the oil. 2,000 miles later. So there I'm at 227,000 miles. I just started the car back up. Gonna take it for a little spin. Just around the block. Then I'll check the oil again. I noticed, and I'm now beginning to think it now, 227,000 miles into it. But my theory is I would hear a noise from the engine when I gave it a little bit of gas. So not when the battery was going, it was definitely when the engine kicked in. And I could usually hear it like if I was up against a wall or driving up against something where it bounced back, where you could hear it well. Like a drive-through, for example. You could really hear it like when you just barely gave it gas, and it would make a noise and it would sound like this. You'd hear something like that. Like you're rolling your R's, or like you're a purring kitten, but more metallic-y. And I kind of noticed subconsciously didn't seem to be all the time, and not when I gave it, strong gas. It was just when I gave it light gas. So I never put two and two together, but I think now, after forever, now it's been making that noise probably at least for 100,000 miles, or maybe when the car was a little over 100,000 miles, it's made that noise. And when I did the oil changes, it was always the 10,000 mile oil change with the synthetic oil. That was the interval that they recommended. So now in hindsight, I'm thinking perhaps the car was running low, or could use a quart or two whenever that noise happened. So I recently topped it off 2,000 miles ago. It's been quiet. Then recently, in the past few days, I started getting the... I could never pick it up when I tried to record it. So if that stops tomorrow, then perhaps that was it, just low oil. Or maybe there's something else wrong. But whatever it was, or if there is something wrong, it's been wrong for 150,000 miles. It's doing it right now. I don't know if you can hear it. I don't think you can hear it. Let's see. See if we can get it to do it. Yeah, you hear that? So I'll check the oil, see if it needs even more oil. See, it's not almost like a marble. It's hard to explain. But let's check the oil level again and see how we're doing. Okay, here we go. Let's check it. Looks like it is pretty good. Not all the way to the top. Let's dry it off and see. Here we go. One last time. Yeah. See on the white contrast, there you go. So it has oil all the way up to about there where the shiny part is. So we could take a little more, but that's pretty good. It's close to the top full. We'll leave it at that for another 2,000 miles. I'm going down the road. I've given it, this is the second day since I added oil. Now, like I said, it did make that noise right after I added the oil, but in general, since then, it really hasn't made it much. It made it one other time. So I don't know if this is an intermittent sound, or is that something because of the oil being low. So far, so good. It's not making the noise, hasn't in a while. And like I said, usually when I get the oil changed, it doesn't make that noise for a little while. So I don't know if that's causing it, But if you know what that noise could be, please let me know down below. Make a comment, say what you think it could be. And if this helps, kind of like this more metallic-y sound that you can hear. Yeah, let me know, because I'm really curious. Again, it seems when I fill up the oil that I'm not hearing it as much. Maybe that's just my imagination. Here I am back again. The oil change is running late because I had to make an appointment, and they were like, I don't know, 9 days before they could even get me in for an oil change at the dealer. So this is over the amount of miles. I'll let you know exactly how many miles here in a second. It's been since we last checked. Let's see how it did. All right, let's go take a gander. There you go. Can you see that? I'm not showing anything. Definitely burned it off. They're gonna go ahead and do an oil change, so I'm not gonna add any more right now, but see, definitely burning the oil just in that amount of time. Yikes! I did wind up adding about 2 quarts of oil before I went to the dealer. Okay, the mileage was about 2,350 miles since I last added oil. So it was over the 2,000 mile mark by about 350 or so miles. And what I wound up having to put in, how much it burned in that time, it was almost 2 quarts. A quart and a half at least, a little more than quart and a half. So quart and 3/4 pretty much. But that's, that's just over 2,000 miles. So this thing is definitely burning oil. Now the thing is, you can't smell it burning. You don't see smoke. It is very stealth. So keep up on it, especially if you have high mileage. And again, like I said, I believe the earlier models, especially the 2010s, possibly the 2011s, were notorious for it, probably at much lower miles, but I think all of them fall victim to it, especially with high mileage. So you got to keep up on that. Let me know about your Prius. Tell me, are you burning oil? How much are you burning? How long? What are the intervals before you're having to add a quart or 2 quarts or 3 quarts? Whatever these things are burning. Obviously a car this high mileage, I'm expecting it. And I'm just putting in the correct synthetic oil. I'm not putting in high mileage oil. So curious, do you think that would help? If I went with a high mileage oil, would I burn less? Let me know what you think. Love to hear from you. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Click that notification bell. That way you get all our reveals. It really helps me out, and there's no charge to you to subscribe. Click that thumbs up. Like this video. That helps me out as well. And I look forward to seeing you on the next reveal.